All right, guys, Great Lakes Radiant. We're here in Edina, Minnesota again, and we installed this radiant tube heater up here. It's 30 feet long. It's an HL3. It's 125,000 BTUs on high fire. It's 82,000 BTUs on low fire. The thing is that after we installed it, we realized that they're putting in a new roof, and the landlord doesn't really want a whole new penetration going up through the roof. It's really best to minimize your roof penetrations in general. And if you can go out sidewall, that's ideal. We have a space to our left and we have our other warehouse space to our right. So we can't go out the sidewall. We don't want to poke a new hole through the roof. So come over this way. What we're going to do is instead of a 30-foot straight shot, we're going to turn this into a unit that goes down 20 feet, does a U-bend, and then comes back 20 feet. The tube will end about here, right where the burner box is. And then if you look up, that unit heater is exhausting out through the roof already, and we can use that existing penetration to hook up the exhaust for this radiant tube heater. So that's our plan today. We'll walk you through turning a straight configuration unit into a U-bend configuration unit, and then maybe we'll do a separate series on venting as well. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so we're about to put the baffles into the unit, and we modified it from a 30-foot unit straight configuration to a 40-foot unit U-bend configuration. The burner box is fine. It doesn't need any modifications to it, but the baffle quantity does need special considerations, and we're about to get into that. But first, I wanted to show you this. This is in the general tube heater manual. If you didn't get a unit that has a general tube heater manual, but rather it has just one install manual with everything in it, then you'll find this chart somewhere in it. But this is on the general tube heater manual on page 18, and it's showing that there is a minimum distance from the burner box to an elbow or to a U-bend. And it's based on the BTU range, or the BTU rating. So on this unit, it's a 125,000 BTU. And so this chart is telling you that you do need to go down 15 feet with the tubes before you can do an elbow or a U-bend. I will say that with these HL3 series and with the commercial industrial series, all of the different units, you can, if it's a symmetrical situation, like you ordered a 20-foot unit, you're going down 10, you're coming back 10, totally acceptable. You're going down 15, you're coming back 15, totally acceptable. So you don't have to worry about that. It's when you're doing asymmetrical or when you're doing elbows. Also, we have 45-degree turns that you can do. So you can configure these things in all kinds of different ways. Just make sure that before you do it, you reference this chart here. All right. Now, there's another thing here. We're going to get into the baffles now. And so note right here, it's on note 1. Remove one 36-inch baffle section if heater is installed with an elbow or a U-bend accessory. Okay, so let's just keep that in our mind as we look at this chart. So here's the HL3 series insert manual. This is on page 10. And this is a great chart. This is the chart that we always reference to determine the correct number of baffles. The baffle quantity is on the right here. So let's look at what we came from. We came from an HL3 30-125, 30-foot straight configuration, 125,000 BTUs, and the baffle quantity was 6. We have the video showing of all those 6 baffles coming out of the last tube. Then we turned it into a 40-foot unit, so now we're down here at the 40-foot 125, and the new baffle quantity is 5. But we got to remove one, right, for the U-bend. So the correct baffle quantity in this case is going to be 4. All right, we're going to throw those baffles into the unit, and we'll do a final video to show you how everything went. All right, so this project is complete. We just finished off with the last of the installation. This is the U configuration. We went from a 30-foot straight configuration into a 40-foot U configuration. It goes down 20 feet, does a U bend, comes back 20 feet. Follow me here to the end. In the very last tube, we put the baffles, 4 baffles in this unit, and then we actually installed, it's a flapper cap. It's called the part number is WVE-galv, as in galvanized steel. That's required for unvented operation. So until we get the exhaust hooked up to that existing penetration up there, we are going to use it as an unvented heater for when the garage door opens. There's plenty of airflow when that happens, so there's no concerns about exhaust gases building up in here. But pretty soon we're going to go ahead and hook up the exhaust. And then the big picture here is the unit heater is disabled. We're going to have this thing exhausting out. This is going to be a fully functional tube heater. This space is exactly the same size as this space over here. We're going to put some insulation barriers here, and we're going to do some studies. We're going to disable this tube heater, and we have that unit heater, which is blowing hot air, hooked up to a gas flow meter, and then we have the tube heater that we just turned into a U configuration heater, also hooked up into a gas flow meter. And we're going to start testing gas consumption in identical spaces, unit heater versus tube heater, and we'll share the results with you so we can actually quantify how much more efficient are these radiant tube heaters with these tall ceilings. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our other videos. We got lots of installation tips. We're doing cool stuff with these experiments, and thanks for tuning into our YouTube channel.